Hello, everyone. Today is Tuesday, March 5th. It's 2:21 p.m. It's about an hour and 40 minutes before the regular session close. You can see my computer clock on my right, and on my left is the time in sales, the E-mini S&P currently trading at 27.9250. First up, we have a chart of the DAX in a live position. We're just a few ticks away from our
first profit target here, but you can see that we have a closed P&L of 562 and an open P&L of 1125. This setup here stops trading at 2:30, so in about 9 minutes it's going to close the position. So this will probably end up with 16 or 1700, assuming the market doesn't fall apart here. But anyway, I wanted to show this first because we're in this live position. You can see the trades here. We made a first equity high of quite a bit, 1700 on this, and then we got chopped around and actually drew down 1200, so quite a bit of volatility. And then, as resilient as the DAX can be, we came back and recovered with another equity high of about almost 1700, almost equal. You can see the two tops here. And then another couple of losers, and now with this trade it looks like we're going to finish up at least at our equity high. So interesting day, a lot of volatility. The goal on this one is, this is the one with the higher goal. It was a pretty excellent day for the auto trader today. I wanted to bring over a chart of our weekly open range filter. This, I believe, hit its goal. The goal on this is 1200, so it did hit its goal and had a tick of positive slippage. You can see today's daily open and the range here, and this had very little drawdown. Only it didn't draw down to the negative. It just had one losing trade here, and it wasn't much. So actually pretty impressive action, not taking any of these long positions. And so that can happen with this kind of a filter, is you can miss some rallies in the other direction, but all in all this did pretty good. The settings on this is targets at 20 and 40 ticks, so really the trailing stops have nothing to do because I just noticed this is trading 3 contracts, so it's 20/40 and a runner. Okay, next up is the NASDAQ on a 150 Heikin-Ashi chart, and you can see the obvious winners here. They're pretty good size, and then on the equity curve we can see that we had a couple of small losers. This did 1475 for the day, and the goal on this one is 1500. This also starts trading at the open of the London session at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. And so before the US Open, we made an equity high of about $600 and then came back with the rest here. There's one more winning trade here, so pretty nice catching these larger swings. This has a limit order with a 6-tick pullback, so some of these trades here we didn't get filled on. So one advantage to using a limit order, like on a trade like this, there was a pullback of 6 ticks from this bar, but we canceled the order after 3 bars. So by the time it pulled back 6 ticks, 3 bars had passed, and that can help you to avoid some losers, where if this was a market order, you would have got filled here. Same here on this swing here, you would have got filled there, and that would have been a loser. So a limit order can keep you out of unwanted trades. Okay, next is the DAX on a Superenco 6-tick with our step moving average filter, and yet another way to avoid noise or vibrations in the market. You can see our step MA filter tracking here, and this long position did not go short on any of these red bars. And so our first equity high here was about 1200, and then we had a loser, and then we came back, and I believe we hit our goal of 1500 with 1 tick of slippage. Okay, next is the DAX on a 377 Heikin-Ashi chart, and this had no drawdown, 2 winners, and you can see them here, and the goal on this is 1550, so just shy of its goal. This is a limit order with an 8-tick pullback. Now, if your limit order was, say, at the close of the bar or just a couple of ticks, we probably would have got filled on this swing as well. but probably we didn't get filled because we didn't get an 8-tick pullback from the close of the bar. Okay, the DAX on a 987 Heikin-Ashi chart had a single trade and did 1250 for the day. The goal on this is 1750, so shy of our goal. It's a limit order with a 3-tick pullback, and so probably we didn't get filled here. Okay, the E-mini S&P on a Super Renko 6-tick had what looks to be 2 trades. This second winner was just a couple of ticks to get us to our goal, and the goal on this is 900. So this hit our goal and had positive slippage. So pretty nice going on just a single trade, one and done. Okay, the super consistent E-mini S&P on just a regular 5 Renko chart with a higher time frame filter of Super Renko 6, and this has a goal of 800 and did 862.50. So we had nice positive slippage on this chart. Okay, the NASDAQ on a 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart did 1240. The goal on this one is 1250. So we had 1 tick of slippage, and there was 2 back-to-back trades with no drawdown. Really nice going on this chart. This is a limit order with 8 ticks pullback, so that's pretty decent size pullback. I can't overstate the benefits of limit orders and eliminating slippage on every single one of your entries. It's a big deal. So we do plot a number of charts with the Super Renko 4-tick, and they all have different settings, and the purpose of that is to show that this chart is really consistent in spite of how many different ways you might set it up. They all fire. They all do really well. This one here has the higher time frame of Super Renko 4, which I just started plotting this, but it has a higher sensitivity than the base Super Renko 4, and so far this hasn't had a losing day, but I've only plotted it three days, I believe. So I'm pretty impressed with this. It's going as planned. No negative drawdown, and hit its goal of 850. Okay, the E-mini S&P on a regular 5 Renko chart. This has a higher time frame filter of Super Renko 6 and a sensitivity of 2 with a limit order of 4 ticks pullback. Now we plot another 5 Renko chart, and the limit order is only 1 tick pullback. This hit its goal and looks like it had a tick of slippage. So here's that second 5 Renko chart, and this traded almost the same. This did 862.50, almost $100 higher, and this is only a limit order with 1 tick pullback and a goal of 800. So this had pretty nice positive slippage. Okay, another chart of the E-mini S&P on a Super Renko 4-tick, and this one has a higher time frame of Super Renko 6, a very long running template showing great consistency. The goal on this is 850. It's a limit order with 1 tick pullback, and this hit its goal and had a couple ticks slippage. Okay, next is a E-mini S&P Super Renko 4-tick, and we have our daily and weekly filter on here. And once again, the drawdown on here is negligible. This made an equity high of $800 and then settled in at 487. Okay, so I tried the filter on a DAX chart of Super Renko 6, and it didn't trade until way down here because I have both filters. If I would have had just the one filter, which is definitely an option, we would have had many long trades and none of the short trades. So this is kind of interesting. I might try this with only one of the filters. On the other hand, if I just had the weekly filter on, it only would have taken short trades. Okay, another E-mini S&P Super Renko 4-tick. This has a higher time frame filter of Super Renko 5, and This has a goal of 750, so it did 437.50 on a single trade. That's not too shabby. Next, we have the E-mini S&P on a 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart. There was 2 winners and 2 losers. Our first equity high was about 400, and we drew down less than 100, and then came back to finish at 475. Okay, coming back to the first chart of the day, which is the DAX on a Super 14 tick with the higher goal of 3,500. The other DAX was stopped out for a loss of 1,500, but this finished. When we first looked at it, it was an open position, and it finished the day at 1737.50. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching.